beautiful people in Kigali, whether they're boys or women. Everybody is just so pretty here. So you normally always catch a crush pretty much every week. So this is kind of like a prose, maybe not a poem, but about like one of those crushes, they normally last for like 2 weeks, so it's fine. Okay, so it's called Will You Say Yes? So here it goes. The first time I met you wasn't really the first time that I'd seen you. I had seen you in this crowd of this suffocating city. I'd seen you across the room at that bar Morugo, which barely has any chairs for all of us to sit on. I'd seen you at that not-so-fancy coffee shop, Rubia. You ordered a nice latte and drove off like you couldn't wait to leave me and the rest of the Kigalians who like to pretend that we are too busy. I'd seen you at that restaurant 360. You were wearing a black blazer, black loose pants, and white sneakers. You looked like you had had a long day. I'd seen you on Instagram after a long night of endless beer from that too small bar Now. And when I went home, I responded to your funny Instagram story with a laughing emoji, hoping it would spark a conversation, but you must have been passed out, or your DMs was filled with strangers like me who laugh at your jokes behind their screens, but won't say a word to you in public. The next time I saw you, I was going to be brave, and I was going to tell you about your smile. My God, your smile. It stops at nothing. It goes on until a long day's end. I was going to tell you about your eyes that long for more than basic conversation. And your walk. I was going to tell you about your walk. How it made everyone's head at Rubia turn around that day when you had a nice latte in your skinny hand. I was going to tell you to be brave too, to come out on a date with me so I can prove that you're as funny in person as you are online. I was going to ask you to take a chance on me, to tell me what it is that you're always smiling about. So the next time I saw you, across the room at that sweaty bar, Select, filled with lonely people, I thought I would come over and tell you about your smile, your walk, your jokes, your eyes. On my way across the room, I kept running into lonely boys who wanted a girl. Not me, any girl to take home that night. On another night, I would have listened to them tell me how red looks good on me and how my long-sleeved dress makes me look like a movie star. All the lies Kigalians tell. But that night, my eyes were on you, far away across the bar, with a half-empty bottle of Amstel in your skinny hands. So many boys between me and you. That night at Select, I was going to be brave, and I was going to ask you to be brave too. But the boys kept coming, and they kept telling me about my red lipstick and my high-heeled shoes, and they kept asking me if I could go home with them so they weren't alone that night. That night at Select, I held one of these boys' hands. He had a lovely smile. You might think he was genuine when he said that I was the prettiest girl in the sweaty bar, but I had heard him say that to another girl at the bar. But I pretended to believe him so he could get me across the room to you. When I finally got to you, your friend introduced us, and there it was, your smile. My God, your smile. All the words that I had planned to tell you disappeared, and with a frozen brain, I said hi, like a robot. And as if I didn't just walk across the room to find you. After we said our I'm fine, I'm great, work is going well, you got bored and asked if I was happy. You asked with your red lips, which I couldn't stop staring at, are you happy? I don't know what I replied. Frankly, my brain was frozen from your intolerance for small talk. Your eyes seemed like they were genuinely interested in knowing if I was really happy. But I'm not used to genuine people like you People who ask strangers in the middle of a bar filled with empty, loud conversations, ear-piercing music, and lots of lonely boys if they, the strangers, are happy. So I left. I might have chugged that bottle of Amstel that I had brought for you, because that night I went home with a boy who was as lonely as me. I lied to him that it was him I wanted that night, but it was you I wanted. It was you I was thinking about when he had my nipple in his mouth. It was your love I wanted that night. It was your love I wanted that night. It was your bed I wanted to wake up into, your long, light arms across my waist, your leg across my thighs. It was you I wanted to kiss on the lips in the morning when I started thinking about leaving. Perhaps, unlike that boy, you would have even asked me to stay, and I would have told you whether I was happy or not. I haven't seen you since you asked me if I was happy. So I think a lot about what I will say to you next time I see you. Fuck small talk. I will tell you to come out with me to a quiet place where only the two of us matter, where our whispers are loud enough for us to know each other. I will ask you to drive up the hills of Revero with me so we can look down on this city while you tell me if you're happy and if you're loved as much as I would love you if you let me. If you are scared to be true as I am. If you like your fancy job. If you could watch all 9 seasons of The Office with me. I would tell you to take a road trip to Kibuye where no one knows us, and you could tell me all about your favorite music and the old scars on your knees. Next time I see you, I will ask you to come out with me to a quiet place. Will you say yes?